Hey guys, Matt here, and today I'll be sharing my thoughts and opinions on Halo 3 ODST. So check your mouths, find your chairs, and let's get into this. ODST takes place directly after the events of the Halo 2 level Metropolis, and it's a pretty interesting take on the series, opting to focus on ODSTs instead of Spartans, allowing the player to see the Halo universe through more human eyes. The campaign starts off with this scrolling text scene telling us how dire things are, which does a great job of establishing the tone of the game's war-torn setting. Afterwards, we're quickly introduced to our charming cast of characters. Dutch, the heavy weapons specialist. He seems like the type of guy who's always down to follow orders if it means he gets to see some action. Mickey, a pilot and demolitions expert who's competent in his craft but cautious in combat. Mickey feels like he has the least amount of combat experience, not a newbie by any means, just not fully accustomed to the hardships of war. Romeo, the smart mouth sniper of the group, who's quick-witted and reliable. He may crack a joke at your expense, but he's always got your back. Then there's the Rookie, a silent protagonist who's really just there to immerse players in the setting. Anywho, they're led by Buck, aka Gunny, the leader of the Helldivers and the type of guy I'd happily fight alongside. He's a little cocky and a bit cynical, but at the end of the day, he still cares for his team.
So we're popping smoke in the lady's mission? She ever tell you what she wanted?
No. Never. Doesn't matter. All I care about now is getting my men out of this city. Even you.
Finally, we have Veronica Dare, a tough-as-nails captain and Oni operative that was formerly romantically involved with Buck. She's also the only character that isn't playable, so we never get to see things from her perspective. Bungie has a track record of creating great characters, and ODST is no exception. They exhibit a grittier, more human perspective on the conflict, showcasing their resilience and resourcefulness in the face of overwhelming odds, while also managing to crack a joke or two. Every character looks distinct, especially Veronica with her Oni recon helmet, and I love the dynamic interactions as well as the banter they have with each other. It just makes them feel like people who had lives before they were soldiers. Alright, getting back on track to the story, you follow the members of Alpha 9 on an undisclosed mission during the Covenant invasion of Earth. As you're dropping into the city of New Mombasa, things get a little wacky, leaving the squad scattered, requiring the Rookie to explore the city and discover clues to their team's whereabouts. Alright, I'm just gonna get right to it. I liked the story. I thought Bungie did a great job of blending classic Halo with this noir-style detective stuff. The characters were likable and engaging, audio logs were incredible, giving us more info on the city's AI system as well as what it was like during the first few hours of the invasion from a civilian perspective, which is always cool to see. It may not be my favorite Halo story, and the ending definitely made me feel a bit empty, but I still enjoyed the journey with our lovely cast of characters. New Mombasa is the first mission of the game and acts as this sorta hub world for you to explore as the Rookie in order to find beacons and audio logs throughout the game. I can see how someone might find this part of the game boring or repetitive since there's a decent amount of walking between each beacon, but I really loved what Bungie did here. The atmosphere is great, having this dark, moody tone coupled with the rainy, neon-lit city. It creates such a unique and immersive environment. Not to mention the gorgeous noir-style music accompanying it all. Okay, I know we're talking about the missions, but I need to talk about the soundtrack real quick, because it baffles me that one of the best OSTs in the series is tucked behind a side game that was originally planned to be an expansion to Halo 3.
I wanted to get a feeling of rain at night in a abandoned city. I would still like to score the emotions and mood that we want the player to feel when they're playing the game.
ODST's soundtrack ditches the typical Halo themes and replaces them with a quieter, jazz-inspired sound that adds so much to the atmosphere of every mission, proving yet again that Marty O'Donnell is one of the best composers in the gaming industry. Halo 2 still has my favorite soundtrack in the series, but ODST is a very, very close second, with my favorite song of the track being Neon Night. When that sax comes in, oh man. Going back to the missions, New Mombasa was easily one of my favorite aspects of the game, with its optional encounters and exploration, as well as everything else mentioned prior. Another favorite of mine I quickly want to talk about is NMPD HQ. I mean, it's just so good. Walking along rooftops and construction cranes, fighting through several enemies to reach the crashed Pelican where Dutch and Mickey are. It's just a really fun level, with a cool section at the very end where you're fighting off waves of banshees. New Mombasa was an interesting experiment that absolutely paid off, and most of the levels tackled the standard Halo formula pretty damn well. Plus, the transitions between levels and perspectives made everything feel seamless compared to how it was done in Halo 2.
We talked a lot about how could we still take people out of one character, put them into the body of another character, and not confuse people.
And ODST, I think, takes the lessons of Halo 2 and feels a lot more natural. You're going from one ODST to another. It's not so jarring as it was for the Chief and the Arbiter.
It was also pretty cool to see more of Earth in a Halo game, something I felt was a bit lacking in Halo 2. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I have to say on the missions. Yup, not a single major complaint from this guy. Coastal Highway blows! Coastal Highway was easily the slowest, most padded mission in ODST. At least the driving portion felt that way. Buck goes from a great character to a brain-dead NPC taking forever to react to literally everything. Hop into a new vehicle? Well, Buck's gonna need a few minutes to catch up. Need enemies gunned down? Well, Buck's gonna need time to process that he's in the middle of a battlefield. I also just got bored with the driving section since it felt like I was doing the same thing over and over again. You drive along the road, kill a few enemies, wait for a door to open so that you can keep going down the highway. It just gets repetitive and, well, boring. I find it odd because usually when I hate a mission, I really hate it. And most of the time, I can give multiple reasons as to why that's the case. But with ODST, there's only sections of a few levels I dislike, with pretty much the only reason being padding. Aside from Coastal Highway, of course. Damn it, Buck, get in the Warhog already! Just like the missions, the gameplay offers a mix of new and old. However, Bungie decided to make some interesting choices. For starters, dual wielding and equipment have been cut, along with health regen, making you more reliant on health packs. I get that this was a way to make players feel weaker and more like an ODST instead of a Spartan, but it's really weird that enemies can still use equipment, but we can't. Furthermore, we're given two weapons with silencers, the Automag and SMG. However, they don't act like silenced weapons you'd usually find in games. The second you fire a shot, the surrounding enemies are alerted to your presence, making stealth a bit harder to pull off, which is unfortunate since New Mombasa feels like the perfect place to do stealth kills. Don't get me wrong, stealth is still a viable option in ODST, and it is the option I will go towards when I'm traversing the war-torn city of New Mombasa as the rookie. However, it did feel kinda like an afterthought. I mean, we're not like my boy Sam Fisher performing stealth kills and shooting people in the back of the head with a silenced pistol. Instead, we're more or less just hitting people in the back of the head, crouch walking by, stuff like that. God, could you imagine if Reach's finishing moves were in ODST? Oh my god, that'd be so sick. But hey, they didn't just take away stuff. Bungie added the visor mod, allowing players to scan their surroundings for clues and enemies, as well as highlighting important objects and points of interest. The visor can also act as night vision in dark areas, which is pretty nice. There's a map and marker system in order to ping locations, and thanks to the pseudo open world of New Mombasa, there's more player choice when it comes to searching for your next beacon. All in all, gameplay and combat feel like Halo minus the benefits of playing as a super soldier, meaning players have to take a smarter, more strategic approach to gunfights. The new gameplay features are welcomed additions, and while I don't agree with the way Bungie removed equipment, I honestly didn't mind its exclusion. Though I am sad that we didn't get to see dual wielding at least one more time. Although the campaign was the real meat of ODST due to a lack of its own independent multiplayer, we still have one last thing to cover: Firefight.
Bam! This is Firefight.
ODST was the birthplace of this fan-favorite co-op mode and easily the most challenging iteration, since there was no health regen and limited resources at your disposal, while Reach had a more casual experience with its class system and armor abilities. Regardless, both are a blast to play, but I think I like ODST a bit more for playing with friends, since it really feels like you need to communicate with one another in order to survive. It's honestly the perfect inclusion that I think should have been in every game after ODST. I mean, my god, we haven't seen something close to the original version since Halo Reach. In case you were wondering, that's a long time. And unfortunately, due to Halo Infinite's King of the Hill Firefight, it seems like we won't be seeing classic Firefight again anytime soon. Halo 3 ODST was and still is an incredibly unique experience within the Halo series that I can easily recommend to anyone who's a big fan of the games. Firefight is still a banger co-op mode, and the campaign's more human approach, along with its great atmosphere and music, makes it a short but enjoyable journey through New Mombasa that I will gladly replay over whatever the hell this was. Sure, it may not be the best Halo game in the series, there's tons of flaws that you can find in this game, but it's definitely the most unique one. Well, that's all I have to say on Halo 3 ODST, so let me know what your thoughts are on the game in the comments down below, and while you're down there, why not consider dropping a like and subscribing for more content. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time when we explore the world of Tamriel. I've been rezoraptor. I'll see you guys next time. Peace!